welcome back to my channel. It's Lipsy and we're back with another Spooktober video. So I hope you're all doing good. I hope you're enjoying everything I've done so far. If you are, I would really love to know, even if you just drop me a message on Facebook or if you write in the comments, whatever, it really means the world to me to know that you guys are really enjoying what I'm doing. And today's is another castle. I feel like I need to stop doing castles at this point, but it feels like Wales is full of them and it just doesn't stop. Like, this one's a good one, okay. So this is a little castle in Pembroke. It has a story of a ghost that's actually a monkey that haunts it. Who doesn't love that? Let's dive in, guys. It's Caerw Castle. Okay guys, so this castle was built for Princess Nest and her husband Gerald de Windsor. Then in the 13th century, because Caerw actually added to it, he added the inner, outer and middle ward. In the 16th century, Sir John Perrot added the Elizabethan mansion, so this turned the whole thing into a palace rather than a castle. Now the unique features still remain and it's been leased to Pembrokeshire Council by the family of Caerw, and it's recently revealed some of its darker secrets. Now there's loads of famous mythology and tales behind this castle. This has been the most enjoyable to research, I think, because it's got so many like weird stories. Now before we go into this, we're going to dive into Princess Nest quickly. So Princess Nest was the daughter of a king and she spent a lot of time in London with King Henry. Now he fell in love with her and they ended up having a child together. They ended up having a son together. Nest was said to be the most beautiful woman in Wales. She was actually said to be so beautiful that people would stop and actually stare at her because she looked so good. Then to avoid embarrassment, Henry asked her to go and marry this man called Gerald. He set up a wedding so that she would go there, marry him, and she actually got gifted the castle to live in. She wasn't really happy with this because obviously she'd never met this man, but Henry assured her, he kind of bribed her and told her, I'll give you this house. He also offered for her to take her friend, which she was thrilled with, and her friend was called Branwen and they've been friends since she was born. She was kind of like, she looked after her, you know, she was not just a friend, she was very close, almost like a sister type of thing. So Gerald was actually a widow and the marriage took place after his wife had died. He was kind of unhappy about it to start, but obviously with the bribes that Henry was giving them, he was more than happy to oblige. And then in the end they actually grew to love each other dearly. Now Nest had many admirers, being the most beautiful woman in Wales, obviously, including her cousin Owain. Owain was actually totally infatuated by her and he'd always said that he was in love with her. So let's go into what actually happened. Now, Nest was living with Gerald and Owain decided that he was going to attack the castle to claim his rightful woman. Now, I just mentioned Nest was like hell of a gal. She already had one child by Henry and then she went on to have 2 children by Gerald, and then the story doesn't stop there, but she does carry on having kids with everyone else in a bit. So when Nest saw that Owain was coming to attack with his kind of, you know, tribe, whatever, she was like, I know what we're gonna do, Gerald. You need to go down the toilet. She actually told her husband in their own castle to go down the toilet. He successfully went down this toilet and got away. So once Owain got into the castle, Nest apparently reluctantly went with him, but it's rumoured that she definitely just wanted to go with him, her cousin. This caused a major uproar between the Welsh and the English, and even Owain's family were like, please just leave her go. We don't want her there anymore, you know, it's not fair, it's not fair to her family. By the way, he took her kids too, it wasn't like a half-assed attempt. He took her and her kids. And then eventually, apparently, Gerald went to save her, and then Owain got sent away to Ireland. It's so random, all these places to come up. But at this point, when Gerald came to save her, she had another 2 children who were by Owain. So she's taken Henry's kids, Gerald's kids and Owain's kids back to the castle with Gerald. Then, a year later, he died. And then she met Stephen and got married to him a year after that. But we don't need to go into that bit because Stephen's nobody to us, okay? Now, let's go into the castle because that's the bit we all look forward to. The castle is apparently haunted by 20 to 23 spirits. Weird number, I know. It's not an overly investigated castle, But all the investigations that have taken place have got really good EVPs, electronic voice phenomenon, where you're basically getting connections with ghosts. Like what I did with my spirit box. Now in the night, apparently this castle gets really, really cold, like overly cold, and people can put as many blankets as they want on top of them, but it just doesn't work. It's still freezing cold. It's said that stones get thrown at people. This seems to be like a really recurring thing, but stones are actually meant to mean something more, aren't they? Because if you find them in a circle, they've been put there by spirit. Now it's said that the ghost of Nest is actually haunted there, and apparently a woman who went there before said, oh, I didn't realise someone was getting married, and the manager of the castle was like, nobody's getting married here. She was like, I just saw a woman in a wedding dress, she was just there. And the manager was like, that's not a bride that's meant to be here. She was like, yeah, she was really like, she was glowing, she was in a white long flowy dress, and that's how she got the name the White Lady. It's actually said that she has a white glow around her body, so I think that adds like the whole beauty thing, because she was so angelic and so apparently beautiful that she would glow when you see her. So she's always there, and apparently she's never left the castle. Sad. Now this is the part that I'm excited for. There's an ape. There's a ghost ape. An ape ghost. In the 17th century, Sir Rowland, now he'd travelled the whole world. And basically, when he was away on his travels, he found this monkey in the Spanish galleon. Now, he brought him back with him and he trained him with whistles and all different sounds. So this monkey was like living with Sir Rowland, and he was his pet, and he loved him. He did love him. Now, Sir Rowland, his son, he only had one son, and his son was seeing this girl, and he came back and said, oh look, I'm seeing this girl. And his father was like, no you're not, don't like her, don't want this happening. But he didn't care. And in the end, because his dad was so against his girlfriend, he ended up saying, well, I'm going to run away then. And he kind of threatened her, but his dad didn't believe him, and then he did. He took his girlfriend and they kind of fled the country and they went off somewhere. Then one night there was a knock on the door, and when Sir Rowland went to answer it, it was a guy called Horowitz. Now this was the father of the girl that his son had been with. So he was fuming because obviously his daughter's been taken away to a different country by this man's son. But Sir Rowland didn't believe him. He was a little bit arsey, and he was like, I don't believe you at all. They got into this massive heated row in the end. And at the end of this heated row, Sir Rowland thought it'd be appropriate to turn to his monkey and whistle to him to kill Horowitz. So Horowitz did actually get attacked by this poor monkey, and he ended up causing quite a bit of damage to him, but he ran away. Then once he ran away, he got into this little room, and all the servants kind of came to tend to him. They knew how much of a knob Sir Rowland was. All of a sudden, amongst this storm that was happening, they heard this like almighty scream, and it was kind of like a mixture of the monkeys and a mixture of Sir Rowland. They couldn't work out who was who and why it was happening. But they were so scared of Sir Rowland because he was so nasty that they were like, we're not going to go in and check, we don't want to go in and check. So the next morning, they go up to this room and they find Sir Rowland in a pool of blood on the floor, dead, and there's no sign of the monkey anywhere. He's like completely gone. Now it's said that on stormy nights, still to this day, all you hear is this monkey running around this castle and screaming, laughing. So it's almost like he's like, I got him back. He shouldn't have told me to try and kill somebody. I got my way in the end. You didn't. And then there was also this story about this little girl who had gone there in a pram with her mother. And she said, she was young. She was very young, and she hadn't really learned animal noises or anything like that yet. But when she got home from the castle with her mother, she started to do like monkey noises. And her mother was like, when did you learn that? And this little girl was like, oh, ah, you know, carrying on. And the mother was like, she'd never known those sounds before. And then she ended up saying something to her friend who she went to the castle with that day on a visit. And she explained to her that there was a monkey there. And this woman now thinks that her daughter learned the monkey sounds from the dead monkey that like haunts her. I don't know if I'd like that. I wouldn't like that. So thank you so much guys for watching. That's been quite a different story. You don't really hear about many animal ghosts here, but it's been a cool story and I really enjoyed reading and telling you guys it. I hope you're all enjoying Spooktober. If you are, leave it in the comments below, leave a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't, and obviously hit that notification bell so I can alert you every time I upload. And remember guys, never let anyone dull your sparkle.
It's not for me to say.